Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner. Saturday morning, 9:30. Today I'm joined by co-founder of the channel, my good friend from London, RIKU. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing, Porky?
I'm all right. Just saying, what you got any of these Monster Energies?
I've had them. Yeah, I've had them before. They are quite lethal, I'd say.
I said to Reggie this morning, I says, Reggie, just going up to the factory. Do you like Monster Energy drinks? He went, I like Monster Munch, pickled onion.
I like the Flaming Hot. I think the Flaming Hot is the best one.
All right. Okay then.
What's your pound for pound top three crisps?
Pound for pound top three crisps. Is this an Eddie Hills question?
This is Eddie Hill's question.
Well, obviously, I don't get much crisps in me at the moment because they swell up, don't they? Like carbs, you know, rice, bread.
Back in
the day. Oh, back in the day. Well, the salt and vinegar chipsticks, I like them. I went through a frazzle phase. But I think my favourite ones are the snaps tomato sauce.
Nice.
Right them, yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, well, they're good and easy, don't they? But like I said, now 3 or 4 crisps now, I'm in a bit of a comes back up, doesn't it? But yeah, I've got loads of stuff down, so we're gonna have a good one today.
Let's go for it, mate.
Let's go. First of all, I keep getting emails from this boxer, and I don't know her, and I've not seen her, but she's persistent. She's called Alaska Diamond. Have you heard of her?
No. Sounds like a exotic dancer, more like a boxer.
All links and everything are with it in emails, and she wants to fight Ellie Brooke. It's an American girl. She wants to fight Ellie Brooke. Is she English?
Yeah, I think I've heard the name before. I think she's English. Let's look.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a TikTok boxer.
Yeah, TikTok boxer. Something. Is she any good?
Yeah, I'll send you the link so you can.
All right then. Well, Alaska, I've had your emails and that. I don't usually deal with them, but you caught me an hour when I had no on. So thank you very much.
She's an OnlyFans. The Ellie Brooke is like an OnlyFans.
Well, they're not even boxers. They must be.
She's a boxer, but she's also OnlyFans.
Are they any good?
Pardon?
Are they any good, these boxers? This is Alaska.
I mean, look, it's. I think it's more like YouTube boxing this rather than real boxing.
Right. Well, listen, I respect anybody who gets in ring, Alaska. Good luck with that, but I don't know how you're going to get a fight with Ellie Brooke. Maybe it's always asking me. Maybe you should contact Ellie Brooke's manager. Go on the British Boxing Board of Control website and have a look through and it will tell you.
I don't think she's licensed as Ellie Brooke, so it must be like, yeah, so it must be one of these, you know.
All right. Well, listen, we wish this Alaska lady luck from America. Right, exhibitions. Ricky Hatton, as you know, we were going to fight Robin Reed a bit back in an exhibition, and Robin got all excited, and they were going to fight a weight and all this that they were happy with, and that got cancelled. And now he's come back again, and I said it won't happen. It's a fad he's going through. I've heard it all before, and it's cancelled till November. So basically, that's Hatton not going to fight him, innit?
No, but the thing about these exhibitions is, I think the people involved organising them and the fighters themselves, like the people organising them, think that they can sell loads of tickets and they can make money. And they convince the fighters that they're still a big name and people are going to turn up. But if you think about a lot of the Ricky Hatton fans, right? They'll be in their 50s, they'll be late 40s, 50s. You know, their best days of following boxing are done now, like, and they're not going to go and wash up. You know, it's a bit like these football legend games. Just because you supported Manchester United, you're not going to go and watch David Beckham and Gary Neville and, you know, the class of '92 being playing at some stadium just because you like them. It's like, it's not relevant anymore.
Well, I'm not going to say who told me, but I'll tell you after. Bean were the one that pushed it because they're quite chummy, aren't they, even Bean? Or they were. They fell out years ago. Then when they dropped Hatton, then they got Pally again. Well, Bean was the one that pushed it, saying Hatton's an icon, but it's got a win over cost to do. That's about it, really. I don't want to see him come back. He should put his energies into training his lad and getting him a better skill set. He's had his time. Why should he be taking money off the table from other fighters? I don't agree with it. And I don't think they'll even sell many tickets by it. His time's gone, hasn't it? It's a different era. When he won the world title, it was 15 years ago. It was 16 years ago. Dennis was charging around Vegas with him. That's a generation, Rico, isn't it?
Exactly. So 40s, 50s, these people that follow them.
So I don't want to see it. And Adam Smith, Jellybean. We don't want to see exhibitions on Sky. I'm not paying Sky every month for that. Now that I'm back on board, I'm sick of streaming. But,
you know what? I think initially that was part of Sky's plan to do exhibitions. Because remember when they had the deal with Wasserman, and Wasserman signed KSI? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they were going to do like exhibitions and mix the exhibitions with real boxing. And obviously the Wasserman thing, but the deal with Sky, that sort of didn't materialize the way they wanted it. But I think that was the concept Sky wanted. They wanted to get more of this, a mixture between YouTubers, exhibition fights, and real fights. And that's probably a reflection of the state where British boxing is at the moment. Like, if you want to get new fans to the sport, I mean, Hatton against, Barrera isn't going to do it. But the reality is, you're going to have to bring out these gimmies just to get new people to watch boxing. Because which 20-year-olds or 19-year-olds do you see on boxing Twitter chatting about boxing and being as passionate as we might have been?
None. Kids around here I speak to, all these who was starting the first jobs around there, I call them and they watch MMA.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, MMA makes sense. And I understand why, right? The best face the best.
Well, that's the first thing he said, but I said, what do you watch? I thought it's gay porn. He went, you what? He goes, why do I want to be sitting like you, Porky, waiting for information about fights that are not going to happen, but they're talked about daily? He says, you're a weirdo bunch, you're a cult. And we got into a bit of a debate. It really works here, MedQuit. I goes, you are? What are you on about? You watch gay porn all the time. He's a big MMA guy, like. He says, we don't watch boxing because the fights don't get made. So why do I invest my time? This is an 18-year-old fresh out of sixth form school on a gap year telling me this out here as well. It's gay porn. But they do fight each other, don't they?
Well, that's it. I mean, look, MMA, you've got one guy that decides who's going to fight against who. And, the best fight against the best. If there's demand for a fight, they'll make the fight happen. In boxing, look at Fury against Joshua, look at Crawford against Spence, look at however many fights. Joshua against Wilder.
Witter Hatton, Lewis Bowe, Calzaghe Frost. One forever.
Even recently, like if you go into boxing 5 years ago, you still haven't seen Crawford Spence, you still haven't seen Joshua Fury. Like, why bother? At least in MMA, you get to see the fights you want to see.
Yeah, but what we do, we get a lot of people talking about it, don't we? There's a lot of talkers, isn't there, Rico? A lot of people, do you know what leaves a bad taste in my mouth? Warren more or less said Parker against Joyce were done, but not in as many words. But how he went about it around about the time that White were going to fight Fury, he sort of like elevated him, didn't it?
Yeah.
But really, they were nowhere near being made, I've heard. Nowhere near.
But you can't trust it, because if you think about MMA, if Dana White says a fight's close to being made and it will be made, then you can trust him because he has the authority to make it. Whereas in boxing, all of them are using the media and the fans' goodwill as a smokescreen, or as a way to negotiate, or as a way to throw people off, or as a way to sabotage other people's shows. So all the information you get in boxing isn't genuine unless you get it from the fighter.
I'm going to show this door. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Yeah, so all the information you get in boxing is not genuine. And what are you doing, mate?
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So all the information again, boxing is not genuine, and the only reason they give you this information is because they have some other motive. Their motive isn't, unless the fight is made and the venue's booked and posters are out and press conferences are had, then otherwise they're just giving you this information to try and sabotage somebody's shows. How many times have we seen Warren announce a fight and then Eddie's floating another fight on the same day just that people don't buy tickets, or poo-pooing the other guy's fights? And all boxing is undermining the other guy's stable, promotions, and undermining. Whereas in MMA, nobody's going to be coming out and saying the fights are going to be crap, or the events aren't good and so forth.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go through a few things and we'll speak, and I want you to just give me straight answers for about a minute on each one. Right. Joyce Hamer, what do you think to that? I'm disappointed.
Terrible fight. I mean, Hamer's so past, isn't it?
Yeah, we got him out there, didn't he, last time we fought?
When did Hamer fight against Fury? When was that? How many?
I don't know. What, about a year ago? Yui fought him? I don't know. You have to check.
Yeah, Fury was maybe a year ago. Let me check. Tyson Fury was 7 years ago.
Oh, before he fought Vladimir, wasn't it? The one before.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Hamer he's only 34, but he's 27-9. Like, that's not going to take Joyce anywhere. Joyce is 36. Joyce is older than Hamer.
Okay. Parker to Sky. Good move.
He's a name. They need names. I don't think it's an exciting name. Like, Parker's the guy that the Brits beat, more or less, apart from Chisora. But like, what are they going to do with him? Like,
well, they could put him in with Chisora for a trilogy, or White, couldn't they, again?
Yeah, but do you care about White's next
No,
run?
I think not really. Dylan White's a multi-millionaire worth over 10 million, but he's look, he blagged it, hasn't he, basically? He just blagged his way there, didn't he? By hook or crook, he got there, but very, very limited British level guy. That's my opinion. I think people.
But he hasn't given the fans back, has he? Like,
not giving anything back. He don't even buy a round of drinks.
But he hasn't given us not true. He's back, not true matchmaking. Yeah, true. Some of his performances where he hasn't been up to par, he's given the fans back. But considering the hype, the guy hasn't actually been in many top tier fights. Like, if you look at his best fights, Fury, and then after that, it's just fringe contenders.
Yeah. Do you know when did he fight Oscar Rivers? Was that 3 years ago now, or what?
Maybe
or
4 or 5.
4 years. Yeah. It was a long. Can you just have a quick check, Rick? I'm sure it was about 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years. Might be 3 years this summer.
Well, it was before. It was maybe a year or two before the pandemic. So, let me check.
Because I think was it June, July 18 or 19?
July 19. So
basically it's 3 years then, isn't it?
3 years ago. Yeah, you're right. 3 years ago.
So his B sample's been missing 3 years.
Yep.
So
well, it's not even missing. It's never going to appear.
His B samples with Royal Mail, isn't it? Useless. Nathan Gorman, he won last night. Puts his punches together well. He comes across as a jovial, well-spoken, articulate, very friendly guy, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he's comes across as a decent guy, but he's not in shape often enough to believe that he's taking boxing seriously enough.
Right, Nathan Gorman. Right, your oldest 25-year-old I've ever seen in my life. When somebody said to me the other day you were 25, I thought they said stone. Get a skipping rope, Nathan Gorman, and get yourself into shape, because you could end up doing something if you're in shape. I don't want to see you knocking over big men, though, and your tips swaying side to side. I don't want to see that on professional heavyweight boxers, Nathan. Shape up. Right, Macaulay.
You know what? credit to Billy Nelson, great win. Bacoli, there's been a lot of talk about how good this guy is in the gym, and you know, Billy Nelson's been implicit in saying he believes he's better than any of the British heavyweights. He's been saying for years he'll beat White, he'll beat all these fringe guys. We've all been laughing at him, but the reality is, if you can beat Yoka that way, you can probably beat White. And I'd say, you know, Bacoli against White is a decent fight, and I'd say Bacoli has a good chance of winning that.
Well, he's beaten an Olympic gold medalist and dropped him.
Yeah, and it was in France. The scorecards were atrocious.
And he took his own.
Yeah.
So we've got to give him credit, him and Billy, going into Wild West and coming away with the win. So well done to Billy Nelson. I hope Bacoli does all right. But he's a controversial character, but I wish him well. He's got a chance though, hasn't he?
Bacoli's not that controversial. It's just Billy Nelson, isn't it? But Bacoli's a pretty quiet guy, right?
Yeah. All right. Eubank against Beefy. What do you think to room around campfire, Rico?
I don't know. Like,
I might Beefy a favourite in that. Do you?
Probably not. I think Eubanks. I'd say Eubanks the favourite per se, but again, it's like Eubanks' career. I like the guy, and I like, you know, his interviews, everything else. But where's his career going? Like, is he going to fight against the? Is he going to fight for a world title? Is he going to try and, like, why is it? Is it just the milking? Are they just milking us for money, or what's going on?
Interesting. Yui against is cancelled, isn't it? Hunter, good fight, isn't it?
That would be a good fight. Maybe not the best fight to watch, but it's a good fight for you.
I think Yui gets a lot of stick when he pulls out fights, Rico. You want to see my inbox?
Well, you know what? I reckon what's happened is the show just got planned because of the Hatton thing, and that's why they pushed it. I mean,
shuffled everything around, haven't they?
Yeah, I think if he would have pulled out, they still would have went ahead with the show. But
listen, I could play these texts on here off Peter. His dad has sent me a few texts. He's just not well. He's trained hard. Been training hard, and he's not just wanted to tell his dad that he didn't feel right. Because, you know, his dad's don't suffer fools. Do you know what I mean? He don't like. I don't know. Peter can say it. Have you done that? No. Well, that's you to that age because that type of guy, isn't it? And you know, I can't imagine Yui saying, "Dad, I don't feel right," because I think he'd probably not want to let his dad down. I don't think he's frightened.
No, but you know what? He shouldn't go in the ring. Like, no fighter should go in the ring if they're not 100%, because I don't care about your excuses after the fight to say the camp wasn't well or you
exactly. Yeah.
He's rather just pull out the fight and then fight to your best ability.
Yeah, he's not a moaner though. You wouldn't expect it. He's not the type to say, "I don't feel right, I'm not going to train." He's a proper gym rat.
Yeah.
So he's an hard trainer. So good luck to Yui when he gets rescheduled. We've just spoken about.
Let me go blow my nose quickly. I'll be back in a sec.
All right. I'm going to shout, "Put some timber on there, Rico." Rico's house, it's cleaner than mine. He's got OCD. He's like Carl Froch. Going around with wet wipes all day, cleaning the house. Everything in its perfect place. Look at this in here. It's a tip. Stig of the dump, the bat cave.
Here we are.
Put some timber on, Rico. What's happening? Good living.
Sorry?
You put some timber on.
Too much timber. I need to make some more. I need to go the porky diet.
Yeah, two of them a day. 25 spliffs.
Well, that should be counterintuitive. That should make you hungry, right?
It isn't. It isn't. Right, we spoke about Yui. We wish him well. Ricky Hatton and Barrera. I don't think it happens. Ricky Hatton just likes his name out there and all that. He needs to concentrate on training his kids. That's my opinion. Josh Kelly. He looked good last night, didn't he?
I didn't see that fight, but Josh Kelly's a good. You know what? Josh Kelly's a good fighter, and I don't think after one loss we shouldn't just say this kid isn't good. I don't
tested
think
himself, didn't he?
Matchroom didn't do him any favors either when he was there because he didn't fight against anyone. Then they put him in a hard fight.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Josh Kelly at 154 pound though, Rico. He was hitting that bloke with 16, 17 punches at once, and he won't stop doing anything to him. The bloke kept coming forward.
Well, he's never been a puncher anyway, so
no. It's like a react. Is he like a Twitch fighter? Isn't he like Jones? Isn't he? You know them?
Yeah, you know what? He reminds me like him, and he's clearly from that Adam Booth school.
Adam Booth.
He reminds me of Brian Burnett.
Yeah, Groves.
But Groves had power.
What about David A? He had power, but they're very similar in how they're hunched down, aren't they?
But that's the Booth style. But what I mean is like
the Booth style.
I think it works if you have power, right?
Yeah.
If you can take a guy out, but if you're just doing that with petty patty punching, like, you know, imagine Josh Kelly against someone like a Charlo. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh my God. Conor Benn, what next? Symmetry to dig bodies up.
They'll find someone that's washed up. Maybe it's someone like Victor Ortiz or someone like that.
Or John Fuchs.
Is John training again?
No. I don't know if this is true. But Nicky Smegler rung me and he said Buki had failed his medical for his border control license. Failed his brain scan or something, and that's why he didn't fight. So if that's the case, he's had to retire. We wish him all the best, don't we?
Yeah.
But he went out 7 years, then out a year. So I don't know. In the last year, he must have failed it. Something must have happened, and he's been clipped since his last brain scan. We've only had one fight.
Yeah.
So this is why we need brain scans all the time, isn't it? That could have happened a year ago.
I think as Martin from New Age Boxing said, he was talking about this in, I think their last reunion pod, because of the whole Goodnick thing, where the board were being sued by Goodnick's family because he'd essentially had like bad brain scans in Germany and they let him fight against Groves, and then, you know, what happened. So I think they're probably more stringent than ever around brain scans and safety, because they know that this could just open up an avenue of people just suing the board for all sorts if they just been neglecting them.
Chris Conger, where do you think his career is going?
You know what? I think he could be European level. He's still a talented fighter. He's ex-GB. So, but a lot of these guys, they were just used as fodder for matchroom fighters. So I think, you know, I'd love to see him against like a Conor Benn or something.
Do you remember about 5 years ago when Dennis says, all right then, well, you'll give me a list of who I should sign.
Yes.
And we did a list, didn't we, me, you and Terry, and Chris Conger were on it, wasn't he? And he was available. And, and Dennis went, in an hour about Chris Conger undefeated. Do you know what I mean? And
Dennis doesn't like to sign guys outside of Sheffield.
Okay. Good luck to Chris Conger. Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia. We're going to have it, or is Cambosa going to what do they call it? Instruct the rematch or whatever.
Yeah.
Invoke the rematch.
Invoke the rematch. I don't know. Cambosa is in a tricky situation because I don't think the rematch would, you know, it's not a big, interesting fight because the first fight was so conclusive. So Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia makes sense, but Devin Haney is a free agent and he's probably going to stay with Top Rank, right? Ryan Garcia is on DAZN with Golden Boy. So that just makes it tricky.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that Ryan Garcia is a bit of a gimmick, and I think Haney's had it handed to him on a plate, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Haney picked his fights well, but he's a young guy as well, right? So I think we need to give Haney a bit of slack because he's only 23 years old, so can't expect him to be with killers. Yeah, he's fought 28 times, but wait, 12 or 15 of those are in Mexico at least, maybe even more.
All right. Big Dave Allen's come out. Says he's 21 stone, and that he's not going to be fighting on any more ticket deals. He wants to be an opponent, and managers should ring him.
Yeah, wow.
But didn't Dave say he wanted 6 bin men to knock over because he was starting his career with Dennis as 0-0. He wanted 6 knockovers. He's had 2 knockovers. Now he wants to go back to being chasing money, and he don't want to put the time in. What do you think?
I think he's burned too many bridges, and I also think the other thing is when he was saying about those headaches and everything else, that's a big red flag for so many boxing promoters, because nobody wants to put a guy on a show that's been saying that they've got headaches and, you know, blurry vision and.
You know what Dave will be doing now? He's at home in bed. He'll be laid at home in bed, wasting his life away. Like I said to him, and you've heard me say it, when he gets to 40, he's going to be sat like that. And he wish he'd have got up in the morning and gone running up them viaducts and actually put some graft in, instead of just pulling quilt over your head. Right. Big John Fury, big fighting man, in the ring or on the hard road. He's putting Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson on notice for an exhibition. John Fury, it's on there, it's on YouTube. Well, Mike Tyson can't come to England, can he? He's not allowed because he served a prison sentence over X amount of years. John can't go over there, so they're not allowed. So where are they going to fight? In Guernsey?
I mean, look, I don't think Mike Tyson even knows who the guy is. So
yeah, all right.
And Mike Tyson doesn't look like a guy that wants to do exhibitions against John Fury, does he?
No, but John does.
Like, he needs to do exhibitions against people in the US.
Yeah, it's people just doing something to saying things just to get out there. Tyson Fury says he wants,
desperate for attention.
Yeah, Tyson wants 500 million to come back. He's gone on Piers Morgan. And then to top it off, he was at the show last night. Is Tyson now going to anything to do with the opening of an envelope? Because they're always there, aren't they? No matter where there's a TV, he's there, aren't they? The PR, they've got it off to a T, haven't they?
Well, Tyson's probably a free agent from Top Rank and ESPN, right?
Yeah.
So effectively, he's just trying to get somebody to give him silly money to come back. 500 million's like, you know this. You used to, you know, be in the car dealership business. Like
what, 995 and on your drive?
Yeah, but you know what I mean, Ross, right? Like, used to be the thing where somebody says, "Oh, I'll sell this for $7,000,000," and at the end of the day, you know they're going to take 5. Like Tyson Fury, like, there's not that money in boxing. Nobody's going to give that money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, go on, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's going to give that money, are they?
No, nobody's going to give 500 million. You might get 100 million for 2 fights. Okay. Julius Francis.
Against who? Like, who's going to generate that money in the modern heavyweight boxing landscape?
I don't know. It'd have to be Saudi, wouldn't it? Or
Well, yeah, and it has to be a fight. Like, Joshua needs to beat Usyk. Like, Usyk isn't that big of a fighter that people would care enough for that to be generated.
Yeah. Sheldon Alderson, one of the richest men in the world. He owns big hotels in Vegas. He owns them in Macau, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sheldon Alderson. Well, Bob Arum's in with him, so they might be able to pull some off, but they won't be able to pull that money up in UK.
No. But anyway, it's like, nobody's going to just give money not to make money, like just to have the fight there. Maybe the Saudis to an extent, but on the other hand, it's not. There's not that nemesis for Tyson Fury that we're all looking and saying, "Oh, we'll pay for this fight." It's not like a Mayweather Pacquiao, is it?
No, he needs a dance partner, Tyson, doesn't he? Really? Okay.
How big a fight was made with a Pacquiao?
4.4 million buys, which is biggest
Let's
ever.
see. Versus total versus $300 million.
Yeah, 4.4 million buys, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, so $300 million, and that was the biggest fight ever, right?
Yeah.
You don't get even close to that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. Julius Francis walked him onto it, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, serves that guy right, because he was being
well, it's an affray charge if there's more than 3 people there. So it's an affray straight away. Whether it's a section 1 going down to 4, it depends.
Yeah.
But it's an affray, right? Public order, section 5 threatening behaviour. Was he drunk? I don't know. And he's given James Cagney, boom, straight out pipe. What is he going to get?
Looking into it. They've already said they're not going to look into it.
Oh, they're not going to look into it.
No, they're not going to look into it because, I mean, the guy was walking towards, he just pushed somebody and, you know, he was walking towards him. So surely that's self-defense. And also when you're bouncing, we have a bit more leeway. And it's been felt like nobody was like, it wasn't like he chopped him out and punched him when he was on the ground.
If you went to court, judge would say, you got your just deserves, get gone out my courtroom.
Exactly.
Joshua Boazzi, have we given up on him now?
More or less, yeah. I mean, look, he's the same cohort as Shakur Stevenson. He's nowhere closer. If you look at the careers Yard and him have had, Yard's actually had a better career. So here we are. Okay.
CJ versus McCall, Callum Johnson, CJ versus, I can't pronounce his name, Milhalkin or something.
Oh, him, yeah. I think it's a good fight. Callum Johnson just needs to be active. And yeah, I mean, you just hope he can capitalize some momentum, but we still need to see these guys fight against each other, right? We need to see Yard in with Callum Johnson, Joe Smith Jr. against Callum Johnson, or the winner of Beterbiev Johnson will be a good fight. Sorry, Beterbiev Smith will be a good fight. Like, you just want to see these guys in. Callum Johnson against Boazzi. Like, that's really what I care about. Less so about the world titles, more about these British guys fighting against each other.
Yeah, why isn't somebody like Joe Gallagher or Virgil Hunter, you know, it's these esteemed Ring Magazine trainers coming out and saying, look, let's all get a light heavyweight tournament together. There's definitely one to be made in UK. They could have a Super 8, couldn't they? Or a Great 8. They could have something, couldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, look, they could, but the money isn't there for, like, would you pay to watch all these guys on pay-per-view? You might do, I might do, but then how many other people in Britain would do it? And the other thing is, like, they all just want to get a world title because then they can make the fights easier and they can make more money.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Truck David Price and Crawler. I thought they made a good pair, you know, on channel. Program was it Channel 5?
Yeah.
Or channel? I forget what channel it was, but I thought they came across all right. Crawler and Price.
I think Crawler's really good at commentating and just generally, and also, like, anybody that's met him says he's just a lovely guy. And you know, his knowledge about boxing. He's got good manner about himself. So yeah, I think that makes sense. And actually, David Price was probably the surprise here.
Yeah, he's got a bit of class, Crawler.
Yeah,
that's why they call him $1 million. He's got a bit of. I don't know. He's just a likable guy, isn't he?
So Martin does that female boxing commentating. Susanna Schofield shows. So I know Martin does. He's sometimes on TV. Yeah,
is he still doing that? Not Martin from
yeah,
Terry's mate. Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, because he's it's like the woman that owns Pitch Boxing.
Oh
Susanna Schofield. She does like a female only promotional company where they do female only. So he's commentating quite often that he does that sometimes with Crawler. So him and Crawler.
You want to check onto the other link, Rico?
Pardon?
You want to click onto the next link?
Yeah, let's do that.